Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, General Technology Knowledge. Today I would like to show and share about new topic about how to wiring the proximity sensor to PLC S7-300 CPU 314C to PN/DP. Okay. So before go to create the new program for test to see the actual signal of proximity sensor, I would like to explain the concept and how to wiring clearly. Okay. Before we test, we need to know about how to wiring clearly about how to connect the proximity sensor to the PLC. Okay, there are two proximity sensor right now I will use, and I will use two control relays. The first one is NPN proximity sensor, and the second one is PNP proximity sensor. And we will use the Simatic manager and WinCC flexible to create the sample program for test and easy to understand. Okay, so let's go to the drawing detail about how to wiring the proximity sensor NPN and PNP. Okay, so let's go with me. Here is the drawing that I already draw for everyone for easy to understand. The first one I have CPU 314C 2PN/DP of PLC Advanced 300, and if we purchase the CPU 314C 2PN/DP, we will got the built-in I/O for the analog and digital. Okay, and then we can use analog type and digital type. There are analog input, analog output, digital input, and digital output. Okay, and here is the memory slot. Here is the switch, run, stop. Yes, and here is the Profinet port, and here is the Profibus port, and here is the terminal power connection that we can connect 24 voltage to this terminal to supply the CPU. Okay, and in this section I have two proximity sensor. The first one is NPN Type, and the second one is Pnp Type. Okay, so this is a difference between how to wiring the proximity sensor NPN and PNP. Okay, so to wiring or connect the proximity sensor to the PLC, normally we use relay control. Yes, one more relay control, or we can also connect to directly, but for the safety we can use the relay control, and then we can take the NO or NC contact to the digital input of PLC. Okay, so if we would like to wiring NPN type, we can connect the positive power 24 voltage to the cable of proximity sensor. Yeah, normally when we order the proximity sensor, we have the catalog, so we can follow the catalog. Normally the positive power we can use the ground cable ground color, and we can connect directly to the relay, magnetic relays, and then one more cable we can connect the minus 24 voltage or 0 voltage to the blue, yes, and then black cable it will generate to the relay. So when we detect the object here, the relay is turned on, and then we can take the NO contact to the digital input, yes, and then it will turn on when we detect this object, okay. And also PNP Type, we can connect the positive cable to the brown. Yes, this is a brown cable. I forgot to remark. And then this is a blue cable. Blue cable we can connect with M. Yeah, M it means that 0 volt or minus 24 volt to the proximity, and then it will generate the black cable to the relay K2. And when we connect the object here, when we touch or connect the object here, it will turn on the relay, and relay will generate the contact to the PLC, okay. So the first cable is brown, the second cable is black, and the third cable is blue, okay. So we can follow my drawing, and then we can test, okay. And for the terminal 20, terminal 40, we can connect together, and then connect to terminal 30 of digital input. This is common, so we can connect 0 volt DC to here. And then for the terminal number 1, terminal number 21 and 31, we can connect the plus. It means that 24 voltage to this terminal, and then we can test the proximity sensor, okay. So I hope this drawing is clearly for everyone about how to connect the proximity sensor type NPN, and one more time for PNP to the PLC, okay. So next step, we will create the new program for test, and then simulation with the HMI for see the real actual of the signal of proximity sensor, okay. Because right now I already connected the cable from my proximity sensor to the PLC, yes, by through the relay also, okay. So this one and this one is the same. I already connected the cable, yes. So next step, let's go to create the new program for test together, yes. Let's go. Okay, so first let's go open Simatic manager, okay. And we will create the new project. I will create the new folder. Before create the new project, yes, I will create with the S7-300 proximity with proximity sensors, okay. And then let's go to create the new project, yes, new example test, proximity, yes, and then browse to find the folder that we already created on desktop here, and then click OK. And next step, we will create the new objects. Simatic 300. Example, this one we can rename as proximity sensor. Yes. So go to hardware configuration and then go to Simatic 300. Go to the rack. Yeah, the first one we need to create the rack. And then we can create the CPU. Yeah, insert the CPU. I will use CPU 314C 2PN/DP. And here is the IP address of the CPU. Yes. Okay. So when we choose the CPU type 314C 2PN/DP, we will got the digital input, analog input and output, counter, position control. Yes, counter, it means that encoder we can read also. Yes, so good. And I will save the project. Okay, and then we will download the hardware configuration to the CPU, right? So before download the hardware configuration to the CPU, first let's go to put the IP address of our computer. Okay, right now I will put the IP address. Yeah, if everyone not yet put it, should be like this. Yeah, so we cannot ping to the CPU, right? Example, I will ping 192.168.0.1. Yeah, we cannot ping, right? So we need to insert or put the manual IP address of our computer. Right now I will put 192. So 192.168.0.253. Yes. And then we can test again. Yes, we can ping. It show like this. It means that we can communication between our computer with the PLC, and then we can download. During the download hardware configuration, the CPU will stop a little bit. Yeah. So if the machine or the motor still running, then we download the hardware configuration, it will stop. So in this step should be careful. Yes, so I will download the hardware configuration. Okay, from the CPU again, and then we can go to create the signal of proximity sensor, right? The input number 1 I will connect to the DI 136.0, and for the proximity sensor number 2 I will connect to DI 136.1. Okay, so let's go. So let's go to OB1. I will choose the ladder for language. Okay, so we can see the signal from the proximity sensor. So we can comment as read the signal from proximity sensor 1. Okay, so the first one here, I connect to input number 1. Yes, so input number 1, if we look like here, yes, 136.0, right? So I will choose NO. So I 136.0. Yes, and then we can edit the symbol. So proximity sensor 1. Okay, and I will turn on the output if we touch or we take the object to the proximity sensor here. Yes, when we take the object to this sensor, it will turn on the output. Okay, so we can write as Q 136.0 also, right? So I will create one output, and then it will Q 136.0, and this one we can edit the symbol, rename as output of proximity sensor 1. Yes, like this. And for proximity sensor number 2, I will connect to relay number 2 and then connect to the input number 2 and turn on the output number 2 also. Yes, so this one I will create one more network, and then we can copy from here and change this one to 2. And for the input here, we can use I 136.1, right? And this one should be proximity sensor 2. Yes, and I will turn on the output number 2, so Q 136.1, and then we can edit the symbol. So for this one, we can type output of proximity sensor 2. Yes, and then we can download the logic to the PLC. For download the logic, we no need to stop the CPU, right? And then we can online for test. Okay, so right now I will go to the proximity, yes, and then test. Okay, right now we will test one by one for proximity sensor. So I will type the proximity sensor number 1. Yes, let's see. Number 1 is turned on, and then the PLC is turned on, and the signal is turned on also for output. Yes, and then if I put the object to the proximity sensor number 2, Yes, it will turn on. And the status of PLC is turned on also. Yes, relay is turned on. If we put 2, yeah, proximity, it will turn on 2, yeah. So it works perfectly. Yes. So it very easy to wiring the connection of proximity sensor type NPN or PNP. Yes. So we can follow my drawing that I already show on the slide. Yes. Then it's very important if we control the motor or some the process, we can use the proximity sensor instead the limit switch. Yeah. The concept is the same, limit switch. If have the object, then it will cut the signal. Yeah. Then we can take the signal from the PLC to control the process. Okay. And then we can create the sample HMI for test this signal also. Yes, with the simulation. So let's go to create the sample project. So first let's go to open the WinCC flexible. And then go to create the empty project. I will use the HMI MP277 in touch. And then first let's go to create the connection. Example HMI1 proximity, and then the driver we can select the PLC S7-300 400. Yes. And then I will choose Ethernet, and here is the IP address of my PC. So 192.168.0.253. Okay, and for the PLC is 192.168.0.1. Yes. Then this one we can comment as connect HMI with PLC S7-300 proximity sensor. Okay. And then go to create the text, right? So the first one is signal from the proximity sensor. So I136.0. So this one example input proxy 1, and then it is the boolean, right? So I will choose boolean and start from I. So I136.0. Yes. For command we can comment as input of proximity sensor 1. Yes. and then it will generate the output, right? So Q136.0. Okay, so this one should be output proxy 1, so boolean, and then I will choose Q136.0, and this one is output of proximity sensor sensor 1, right? And for the proximity sensor number 2, we can copy and paste, and this one should be 2, and this one should be dot 1, this one should be 2, and this one should be 2, this one should be dot 1, right? And this one should be 2. Okay, and then we can go to create the screen to show the signal of proximity sensor. I will choose this color. Yes, and then we can create. Okay, I will put the text for the title, example test pro. Okay, test proximity sensor with PLC S7-300. Okay, then we can increase the size, and I will choose the yellow color. Go to property and then change the yellow color. Okay, and we need to show the signal of proximity sensor, right? So let's go to the rectangle example. This is the signal of proximity sensor. Yes, number 1 I will put here, and then I will change this color to red color. Okay, normally red color, when the signal is on, it will change to green. And for the output, I will put like this. Okay, this one I change to red color also. Yes, and then I will copy to proximity sensor number 2. Yes, so this one is input and this one is output, so I can copy the text with input. Yes, and this is the output. Okay, output. Then I can align to be top. This one should be top also, and this one should be like this. Yes, this one also should be like this. Yes, and then for this one is proximity sensor, so example sensor 1. This one for sensor 2. Yes. So for this one, okay, so we can put the sensor 1, sensor 2. Yes. Go to animation and choose the text. This one should be proxy input proxy 1, right? So choose input proxy 1, and then I will change the color when it true. Yes, I will change to green. And for this one also input proxy sensor number 2, I will change to 1 and then change to green color also. Okay, and for this one should be out put proxy number 1, I will change to 1 and then change the color to green. Okay, this one should be out put proxy number 2, and this one change to 1 and change the color to green. Yes, and then we can test. Can save the project first. Yes, this one example proxy VT sensor. Yes, and then we can simulation. Yes, simulation with the PLC, and then we can test again. Right now the PLC is online. Yes, so I will type the object on the proximity sensor again, and then let's see the status together. Yes, because we already configure the signal of proximity sensor. Yes, okay, so right now I will type the proximity sensor number 1 again. Yes, let's see the signal on HMI is green. Yes, I will type with the proximity sensor number 2. Yes, it's green. Number 1 is green. When I type number 1 and number 2, yes, let's see green together. Yes, so it works perfectly for the configuration of HMI. Yes, so this is just concept about how to wiring and how to connect the cable to the PLC S7-300 by using the proximity sensor and relay control. Okay, so I hope this video just the basic for wiring and create the small project on the Simatic manager and WinCC flexible for test. Next time I will create the one project that related to the proximity sensor. To example, start the motor belt conveyor, and then we can use the proximity sensor to install on the pulley of the belt, and then when we start the motor and then the belt is not rotate, and then the sensor is send the signal to trip the motor. Okay, so in this video I just show like this first. Yeah, and then we will go to part 2 together. So thank you very much for watching my video, and if everyone have any question, please kindly drop comment under my video. I will reply soon. And I would like to request all of you to like, share, and subscribe my video also to get more notification and more new videos that I will create step by step. So in this time, I would like to say thank you very much again and see you next videos. Bye bye.